Good morning, everyone. I am Stevie Lang, capable of sleeping in very late. I did not wake up, as in my eyes did not soak in the daylight until 9:30 this morning. I usually get up at 6. So I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I'm gonna just say, thank you for your grace. It is potluck day, and today was a lesson in that life goes on, whether it's like we planned it or not. And we do what we can, and I'm sorry for any stress I caused anyone by that. So anyway, without further ado, I am Stevie Lang. I am here present and accounted for. Welcome to Unity Center of Des Moines, and we welcome you just as you are. We support a positive spiritual path, knowing that each person is on their own unique spiritual journey. I think I recognize all the faces here in person today, but maybe you're joining us online for the first time, and you can learn more about the Unity movement on our website at unitydesmoines.com or at unity.org. And if you haven't grabbed a free hugs button and like one, they're right out there in the entryway, and the same with the little welcome packets and all that good stuff. So let's begin with song. I grew up here. Herding cats. Now the lyrics are going to be up on screen, and we love it when you sing along. Play as responses, yeah. I listen to the sound of the wind as no name. I listen to the sound of the wind as no word. I listen to the sound of the wind is free. The wind is free. I listen to the song in the sky as no. I listen to the song in the sky as no word. I listen to the song in the sky and I can see the sky is free. The sky is free. I listen to the song of the broken as I listen to the song of the broken as your word. I listen to the song of the broken as the moon is free. The moon is free. And I am free. And I am. Oh, what a beautiful song. Thank you, Dennis, for sharing with Deb and Susan. And Susan, we're so glad you're back. It was nice you were back, but we're really glad you're back. I am. Okay, so announcements this morning. I'm tearing up a little bit, even thinking about them. Our dear Linda Lair has been diagnosed with stage 4A cancer. There's a caring bridge, which I will have up on our website, and Marilee can help you if you've never done Caring Bridge before. The last update I saw was really just about the diagnosis. You want to say something, Sharon?
Can I say something? Because this morning. Okay, this morning, she had her own place. Her daughter, one of her daughter and stepdaughters, has a beautiful home out there. She's in Denver getting treatment at the Denver, the big oncology place there at the university. She's doing as well as can be expected, but it's not good. And this morning, it was like, well, she slept well last night, but she's going in again because the fluid has come all around her lungs and stuff again. The oncologist has a standing appointment whenever she needs to go in and get the fluid removed because that really helps her breathe. She's gonna have the port put in sometime this week for the chemotherapy. And she's crying really, really hard. And just please, please keep her in your thoughts. I cry so much that you don't have to cry anymore, but just pray all the time for her, okay? Thank you.
Without like, there's grief, but there's also celebration in her. She was fine, like her house is a retreat, and she's living the fullest life possible. And at the first sign of symptoms, here's
What I am like this, she's not.
No, she is at peace. Her attitude is absolutely fantastic. She's surrounded by love, and loved ones. And the way that she got to Denver was miraculous, as in she had her first symptoms, I think on a Wednesday or Tuesday. Anyway, in
Yeah,
1 week,
See,
she went from symptoms to being admitted to one of the best cancer treatment places in the country. So if she's in a good place, and we just ask for that it's all already been taken care of, and that we just be able to accept that. That's my prayer anyway. So with that being said, Karen Bridge, to keep in touch, and she is reading all of those messages. She's had such a great impact on so many lives here and beyond. And we love Linda, if you're watching this.
Could you say her name again?
Linda Lair. And she's also known as the Dragon Queen. And she just recently realized her lifetime dream of turning her home into a retreat center. So she's on Facebook, the Dragon Queen Lair. Or Dragon Queen, I think is her business page, but yeah. We love you, Linda. I'm trying to think, there was another announcement that wasn't written on my sheet, but I was supposed to say, and I don't remember what it was, so, whatever it is, someone will think of it. Actually, it is. Paul, would you like to come up and talk about what's gonna happen Monday, tomorrow?
Yes, I will. Before I do that, I just want to say, Sherry, you can speak to this even more, but it shows the power, the continuity of what we do here. One of Linda's first deeper exposures to unity was through the Spirit Seekers Fair. You never know how you're going to touch people, like just being there, showing up, being a part of things, and slowly over the years, and inspire her to want to do her spiritual work too. So just the power of this place, the energy of this place is very beautiful. So just to make my announcement, as I said last week, we're doing the Spirit on the Patio series. Tomorrow night, especially, we're going to do intuition on the patio. And we're going to demystify intuition. Wherever you are with intuition, we're going to go deeper with it. We're actually going to do a technique where we all help each other with our intuitions, so that intuition becomes a proactive experience, not just something that you hope happens or you wait for. It's something that you can invoke and go get and fact find with. So we're going to work on that tomorrow for an hour. It's going to be fun. And because I'm glad you said that, because tomorrow we will do a special healing technique for Linda and for anybody that wants to be a part of the group that help proxy. So some special techniques that we do to help healing in the healing process. So join us tomorrow. Thanks. Oh, tomorrow. Thank you. All the details. There we go. Yeah, read my flyer, right? Tomorrow, 6:30. 6:30 to 7:30. And I've been asked this several times. The patio's right there. It's right out there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Linda Klein, for bringing me coffee, which I also was not able to get this morning, and that's not good. Okay. Where are we? It's Wayne's birthday.
Happy birthday, Wayne.
Don't you have a birthday with you this week too, Miss Stevie?
Yes, in fact, tomorrow is mine.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Miss Stevie. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, everybody. I love you all so much. I really genuinely love you, and I'm so glad that you're here today. And potluck tomorrow, potluck after the service today. And then a little conversation circle like we had last month to just kind of talk about what's going on around here. With that, some of you may have noticed some water in the community room this morning. And that's because in 2022, we had the main level roof all redone and fixed, but not the tower. So there's some places where water is getting through on the tower, and I have called two different roofers who've come out and look at it, and I have window people coming, and we're gonna get it fixed, but for right now, that's why there was that bowl on the one little side of the table. It looked haphazard, but it's because you'll see a missing tile on the ceiling, and that's what's happening, so. We're getting that addressed as fast as we possibly can. Next. Oh, I already said that, Paul already mentioned that about the next 4 Mondays, Spirit on the Patio. Today, not only do we have the potluck, Wayne's got an open house at his house from 2 to 4, which the details on that are in the newsletter, and it's also on the website right now if you need the address. And then at 5:15, here back at Unity is Kirtan with Deb Jennings. And then at 6:30 p.m. is the full moon gong meditation. So all great stuff. Busy full day, wonderful day of things. I would like to celebrate now. Can we celebrate? I feel like that was a lot. I am celebrating. I went and visited my mother in hospice in the nursing home yesterday, and I had a wonderful day with my family. And if you know me, you know what a celebration that is. There was all good. There was nothing bad. There was just love. And I am grateful to God, Spirit, Jesus, universe, everyone for making that possible because I attended the Lionsgate Pyramid event on Friday night, and my intention was to be cleared of resentments and be secure in my divinity. And that was answered.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Also brings the fields, but yeah, anyway, who else has something to celebrate? So I can compose myself. Anyone? I'm celebrating new birth and the Lionsgate portal opening up all kinds of wonderful things. And I'm very excited about that.
Good.
Thank you. And then are we still in Lionsgate energy?
Until the 12th. Full moon
Okay.
energy.
Well, yeah, so I mean, I am in tune with the moon, okay, so. Feeling my feelings. All right, anyone else have celebrations that they would like to maybe just celebrate silently, because there's a lot of good things happening. Special events coming up on Tuesday, August 12th from 6 to 8 p.m. here in the sanctuary. There is something called Aura Breath with Devel from India. She has quite an extensive background in education. You can read about her in the newsletter and also on the calendar. There's some details. And she's just going to lead us through some very healing breathwork techniques. That's Tuesday from 6 to 8. Then the following Tuesday on August 19th from 6:30 to 8:30 is the singing bowl class with Deb Jennings. And then coming up in September, a group called She Recovers is going to be meeting on September 8th. And then there's an October 4th all-day retreat with Lori Reisling, who is titling it You Are the Medicine. So all of those things are going to be in the newsletter and on the calendar, and I'm going to keep talking about them because they're that great. And then the regular events are on the calendar as well. If you have any prayer requests, which, wow, if today wasn't a testament to the power of prayer, there are little prayer request cards out in the atrium, and also the big sheets that have you put your email address and or any suggestions or feedback you have on the service. You can also put your prayer request there. And then that box right under the painting is where you drop them in, and we read those, and if you want, I can put you on the Sunday prayer list, and I can also receive texts or emails with those requests. So lots of ways that you are never alone in whatever you're going through. And we like to be with you through the whole gamut of the human experience, the joys and the sadness and everything in between. I think it's time for our statement of faith, which will be up on the screen. If we can say this together. There is only one power active in my life and in the universe, the divine source of all life and love. And next, the unity affirmation. And we can say this together, really feeling the oneness that connects us all. Unity of the Lord is a radiating center of the divine light, mighty to attract its good and to radiate good to others. And with that goodness radiating from us, I have a list of people to keep in our prayers. Send extra love to this week. Linda, Sharon, Trinity, Brittany, Mike, Daniel, Michelle, Deborah, Danny, Steve, Beverly, Scott, Deb, Kim, Misha, Amy, Amanda, Ryan, Dylan, Christina, Paul, Kim, Lou, Tom, Karen, Scott, Celine, Lindsay, Denise, Katie, Jenny, Marty, Matt, Jerry, Jessica, Alexander, Eric, Jamie, Angie, Devin, Jody, Paul and Phyllis, Christina, Seal, and people with struggles we know nothing about. The daily word for today is taken from Psalms 23, verse 4, which says, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear nothing, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, you comfort me." When I become aware of someone's suffering, I feel blessed to offer comfort. I read in Galatians, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. These are the birthright of all people, even in times of upheaval. Those in need of comfort would likely love to receive these fruits from a caring soul reaching out to offer solace. The best ways to offer comfort are often the simplest. I may not have the perfect words or the solution to every problem. My presence, my compassion, my willingness to share the fruits of the Spirit are comfort enough. It is a privilege and a joy to share the love and peace of God. The affirmation that goes along with this, I'll say it once and then if we can all say it together, is this. I am a comforting presence, sharing the peace and presence of God. I am a comforting presence, sharing the peace and presence of God. And with that, we have another song by our music team with us today. And again, the lyrics are going to be up on the screen. Please sing along.
Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you.
I will share, because that song reminded me, in my journey right now, I have some notes I've written around my place that sing things like, I got you, and we got this, and I'm with you always. And I have those little messages from Spirit that I can look at and be reminded in case I forget. So I share that with you because it's been quite lovely to have as a tool, always here in my heart. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our speaker today, Melissa Harris. We know her, we love her. You can read more about her in the newsletter. And she is going to be talking on the topic, I'm listening. Please welcome Melissa Harris. Just gonna get this up for you.
It's on the other side, Stevie.
Yeah, you already got
There's one on the other side.
Oh, is that what, okay.
that.
That isn't the one, it's too tall.
Oh.
Is that not, try that?
Good morning.
There we go. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna move it up a little bit. There you go.
There is
Your way.
so much power in this room today. It's like I'm shaking a little bit. It's kind of cool. I don't know if anybody else noticed, but after Stevie was reading the names that we were praying for, right before she started in the next thing, there was this silence in this room, and it was like the loudest silence. Those are my favorite moments where you feel it, you feel the silence everywhere. Whatever we're listening to with our ears just stops and it's quiet. We're going to start this morning by channeling our childhood Sesame Street watchers, and we're going to do a lesson on 1, 2, 3s. One is one source, and I don't need to say much about that in a community like this because you live it, you breathe it, you speak it. That's what's here. That's what we're feeling here. 2 is 2 words, and the 2 words are I'm listening, and I'm going to spend a little more time with that today. And 3 is the three facets of listening. And a little disclaimer about these, I made them up. So go with me for the day. Not gonna talk about them in order because that would be boring, so we're gonna start with two. We're gonna start with the two words I'm listening. And these two words are words that I have said out loud and in my mind thousands of times in the last 5 or 6 years. They first came to me as part of my meditation practice. And they just seeped into the moments of my days. I practice meditation that's called heart rhythm meditation. And it's a practice where you sync up your heartbeat and your breathing, and it amplifies and creates a magnitude of both of them in this practice. And that within the practice then spreads throughout your days as well. And I was originally introduced to this practice by Morgan Rivers, who many of you know. And I immediately felt an affinity for it. And she suggested that I start working with a coach or with a mentor. And in this serendipitous moment that I really feel like changed the course of my life, my first meeting with my coach, with my mentor, Leah, was scheduled for January of 2019. And my first call with her was the week that my dad was enrolled in hospice. And I was at home caregiving for him. And I thought about canceling because I thought, well, I'm not ready to take on a new project while I have this overwhelming thing coming. But intuitively, I knew I needed this and I needed it right at that moment. And the timing could not have been more perfect. One thing that Leah instilled in me from very early on, from the very beginning of our work together, is that I can communicate with my broken heart. And I think we're feeling that in the room today. This communication really doesn't involve words, very little words. I say to myself, I'm listening. I'm actually saying that to my heart. I'm listening to my heart. It's also a reminder to pay attention to whatever is being spoken. So through the years, as I've sat in the meditation and said I'm listening, and in moments out of my life where sometimes it's spontaneous and sometimes it's intentional, I say I'm listening. Once in a while, if I'm going through something and I'm really confused or frustrated, I'll just stop, feel my heartbeat and say I'm listening and give myself a chance to hear something. Not listening for words. It's not a message I'm hoping for. It's just an experience of knowing and feeling my heart. Leah said something, and she said it a few times, that has just always stuck with me. And she said, life wants to be felt beyond itself. So capital L life, all of life wants to be felt beyond itself. And I think in this context today, talking about listening, I think life wants to be heard beyond itself. I think we want to hear within and outside of this existence of life that we live. And I believe, I've said this before, that everything is communication. Everything we experience is communication. And there are so many ways to listen and so many things to listen for. We listen to each other and we listen to our words and we listen to our energies and we listen to our hearts, each other's hearts and our own. We listen to the universe, whatever that's telling us at any point, whether that's coming through a spoken word, a prayer, a song, a noise, a color, anything, we're listening. We're listening to our intuition. There's going to be an experience of that coming up out on the patio in the next month or so. That still small voice that sometimes isn't still and sometimes isn't small. We listen to our bodies. And I would say it's all the same. It's all the same communication. It's all the same wisdom. Some might say it's all the same love. All this communication that we listen to is coming from the one source. So we're backwards to number one in our 1, 2, 3s. The one source, the one thing is always communicating to us in a multitude of ways. Everything that we listen to, in whatever manner that we're listening, whether it's auditory or not, is coming from the same place. And I read something a little while ago that I saw it on video, I can't remember, but the person was saying, how cool is it that when we speak, or when we chant, or when we hum, or when we sing, or when we mumble, we're vibrating the air. We're vibrating the air around us. That's what sound is. It's this vibration, it's this wave. And we get to vibrate the air. Like, it was really cool, like, realization that this person had, and it struck me as I heard it. You know, sound waves come to our eardrums vibrate, and our brain translates that into whatever we identify that we're hearing. But it occurs to me that if this is vibration, then doesn't every aspect of us that can perceive vibration hear? Maybe not as sound or as something that we identify, but everything, our skin, our tissues, every cell hears. Every cell is listening in different ways. And I'm going to share an example of that. So I went out for a walk yesterday morning, and I don't know if anybody else was out early in the morning, but it was the perfect morning for listening. There was a breeze. It wasn't a big wind, but it was a breeze that created all kinds of sounds around us. It was sprinkling, so like you could hear the raindrops on the leaves and on the ground. We've had enough rain lately. I was walking by a creek and you could hear there was enough water running through it that you could hear the rushing of the water. You could hear the birds, the crickets. Crickets are an awesome example, I think, of like hearing in different ways. So if you notice crickets, you know, sometimes it'll be like one little dude right off the path, and you can just, and like he's all by himself there, she, they just like making this little noise. And then sometimes you might hear like a chorus of them over here, and it's a different tone. Like that little chorus is a different tone than this, and then there's maybe some behind you that's a different tone than that. And if you sit and listen, it becomes one sound. Like the distinction goes away and it becomes one sound. And I think the same thing with cicadas. So I hear people say that they hate the sound of cicadas all the time. I love them. It is one of my favorite sounds of the summer. I absolutely love it. Especially if I'm sitting in my backyard, and kind of the same as the crickets, like there'll be one up in a tree and you can hear it. And then another one joins, and then maybe a few more. And then it builds, like this whole wave of sound builds. And then, you know, you're hearing them from down the block in the neighbor's yard, like they're all building up together. And it gets so big, that sound gets so big that you're feeling it. It's no longer just a sound. And when you feel it with your entire body. That vibration is within you. I just think that's amazing. I think cicadas, like them, love them, hate them, they get your attention.
Yeah.
And we intend with our whole selves. And of course, my favorite, and you've heard me talk about them before, is trees. And they're kind of, trees are this perfect irony because they in themselves don't make noise. They do, but it's like requires equipment to hear it. But in general, a tree by itself isn't making noise. So the noise is being made by a connection of things. So we often describe the beauty of trees by the visual look of them. So maybe the leaves waving, or you know, the stalwart standing. I don't know, I always think of that with trees. But if you combine that with what's happening around, so let's say breeze waving through the leaves. If you combine that visual look of the reflection of the waving with the sound that you're hearing, it becomes an entirely different experience. So on my walk yesterday, there's a place on the path where I'm walking by the creek on one side, and there's some trees along it. Not a lot of undergrowth, so you can kind of see the water, but definitely hear the water. The other side is all tree lined, and the undergrowth is like overgrown. And so who knows what's on the other side, but it feels like you're walking through a tunnel. And it's, it's also a place where it curves around, so you can't really see the path ahead of you and you can't see the path behind you. So if there's nobody else walking right there, like you're alone in this space. And I stood there and I looked up, and so on the creek side, there's these tall cottonwoods that are like kind of towering over the rest of the trees. And so the wind is really getting them, and those leaves are just like waving and waving. And on the left side, there's a willow tree. And so willow trees are so different because like it's not waving leaves, it's like the whole branches are just moving back and forth. And I stood there and I was watching the two of them, and the sounds are different too. So there's like a rushing or I don't know, there's a different sound with the leaves that are waving on the cottonwoods. And then it's like a swoosh that happens with the willow trees. And that rustling, and it's like a rustling, so that rustling and that whooshing, if you sit with it long enough, again, it becomes one sound. And that was then when I noticed the crickets. And so I had these two sounds come into one sound, and then this third sound showed up, and then it's standing there long enough and hitting you. That also all becomes one sound, and you become one with it. I was only hearing one thing with all these multitudes of sounds. And I remember the first time that this happened, I was walking out at Raccoon River Park, and the part of the trail where it walks between the lake, Blue Heron Lake, I think it's called, and the river, Raccoon
Yeah.
River. So when it's full, like I think this was in October, so the leaves were full, you kind of feel like you're walking through this gateway. And I had stopped, and again with the cottonwood leaves, something about them to me. And they were yellowish because it was fall, and they were like sparkling and waving. And I was just staring at them, and I could hear them and I could see them. And then it was like I was one with them. So the sparkling felt like it was in my eyes, like the reflection felt like it was in my eyes. And the wind, like I felt like I was breathing the wind. And it was like this immersion. It all became one. I call this immersion. So immersion is part of the third part of our 1 through 3s. So the 3 facets. And this is an idea that I haven't fully formulated yet. There might even be research out there about it that's calling it different names or something like that. I'm not sure. But for today, it's the 3 facets of listening according to Melissa. And they are attention, distraction, and immersion. So attention is the zooming in or the zoning in. So someone you love is talking and you give them your full attention. You are listening, you are looking, you are paying full attention. Maybe a favorite song comes on and you stop whatever else you're doing, and you're paying full attention. You're looking at something in nature, paying full attention. Distraction, I feel like has 2 parts to it. So distraction takes us away from that attention. Sometimes it's an interruption. Sometimes we aren't expecting it. It stops whatever we are attending to. I think sometimes we use it. I know that I do, and I've noticed this more and more with the more technology we have, more social media is popular. Sometimes I think because life is hard and there are things we know need our attention, but they're difficult and they're painful. Sometimes we use distraction. Maybe it's a video, maybe it's a podcast, maybe it's some kind of music, maybe it's who knows what it is. I think we use distraction sometimes to get away from the painful things that need our attention in some ways. And the third one is immersion, and I talked about that. Immersion to me is almost like when attention stops. And what I mean by that is when we're attending to something, it's an other. And when we become immersed with it, there is no other. So it's like our attention goes away because now we're one. And I think with these, they're not linear, they're not in any particular order. I think we move in and out of all 3 of them at different times and in different ways. Of course, you can be attending to something and become immersed, like my example about the tree leaves. Maybe that happens with someone's voice or with a song or even a color. you can be immersed and move in and out of attentiveness. You can be immersed and be snapped out of attention by a distraction. So I'll tell you the one that gets me every time, again, when I'm walking. If you walk on trails that are shared with bikers and walkers, the etiquette is a biker coming up will call out on your left, coming up on your left or something like that. And it's to let the walker ahead of them know they're coming up to overtake them or to pass them. It's, let's not crash, let you know it's coming. It startles me every time. And like whatever I'm attending to, whatever I'm listening, it's politeness. They should be doing that, but every time I'm like, damn, like, oh, because it just, I'm shaking usually sometimes, like it just, and whatever I was listening to, attending to, or immersed in, gone. It's like for that moment, it's gone. I can get back there, but it takes a minute because of that interruption. So we move back and forth between all three of these. And I'm going to share an essay that I wrote earlier, portions of an essay that I wrote earlier this summer, that I think are an example of that movement. I was reading the book, Ordinary Mysticism by Mirabai Starr. I don't know if anybody's read that book, cool book. And in it, the chapter 2 is titled Attention. And she writes, a contemplative life slows you down enough to catch the magic that flashes from the heart of the mundane. And she says that when you hone your attention, the world opens and spills its most important secrets. And at the end of that chapter, at the end of every chapter, she offers a writing prompt. And the one at the end of that chapter was, take a walk, find a point of focus, describe what you perceive in vivid detail. And I was like, sweet, this is my jam. I know exactly where we're going. I know the spot. I had just been there a few days before and there was all these birds. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go focus on the sound. I'm gonna be able to describe this. I'm gonna do this. So I drive over there, I get there, I pull in, and right away I'm like, oh, there's the first bird, awesome, this is gonna work. And I get out of my car and I shut the door, and I realize that there's someone mowing a lawn at this soccer field, like right beside where I'm walking. Okay, all right, frustrated, this is gonna interfere with this expectation that I have. And then I remind myself, okay, you're here to pay attention and describe sound. This lawnmower is a sound. I'm like, pay attention to the sound. And it starts to come to me that, like, this isn't really that annoying of a sound. It's low, it's subtle, it's kind of grounding and comforting. I had the momentary thought, like, I wonder if that's why they call them groundskeepers. No, it's not why they call them groundskeepers. I'm just like, this. Oh, yeah, okay. So it was more like a meditation. I was really surprised at how much I got into it. Like I immersed in it a little bit. Maybe not quite as much as the trees and birds, but. So I went a little further, got a little past the soccer fields that this person was mowing on, and they turned the mower off. And, there was that moment, kind of like I described earlier from in here, before the birds started again, it was just this moment. And then this like cacophony of birds, it all started making all their songs and sounds, and then I was in it. And it was exactly what I was waiting for. It was like there was a chirp and a twitter and a subtle, quiet, piercing sound and something warbling and something throaty and something whispery and definitely some whistles. And I was thinking with someone like, is that coming from the bird's belly or is it coming from their beak? I don't know. I don't know where this is coming from. And then I went into this like, oh, can I name them all? It's like, oh, there's a nuthatch, there's a titmouse. Okay, I know that one, that's a chickadee. And of course the crows and the jays. And I was like, with the jays, I was like, hi friends, I know you annoy everyone else, but I'm gonna dig your spice. I'm gonna dig, like, you make me smile. Like, you know what you want and you go after. And you're gorgeous, I don't care what anybody else says. And then I remember like, wait, I'm not supposed to be naming this. I'm supposed to be like describing this. Okay, so what am I hearing? And I go up on the bridge and I had kind of heard the breeze before, but now that I was like over the river, it was more like a wind. And that's a sound I love. I love that kind of sound of wind because it touches you. Like it's spirit and it's holy and you hear it with more than just your ears. Another one of my favorite sounds. And I step off the bridge and the wind dies down a little bit and I can hear the water just barely. I can just barely hear the water. And then the wind comes up and covers it up again. So I keep going and I get to on the other side of the river and then I hear it. It's kind of the one I'm always looking for. The red-winged blackbird.
I love
I
it.
love that sound. And then I named it. Not supposed to be naming, I'm supposed to be describing, but in my head, I was like, oh, there she is. And I was like, okay, how do I describe this sound? It's a song. It's the song of the grass. It's the song of the prairie. It's the song of the meadow. It's the song of what reaches from the ground to the sky. It comes right through me, connecting me from the ground to the sky. You know, I've always loved to walk in trees, and I think of it because I love trees because I consider them kin. But I was realizing that a lot of the reason I love to walk in trees also is the sound of the birds and the connection with them. You know, with trees, I always tell myself I'm never alone. Same thing with birds, and same thing with anything that does that for you. You know, I use nature a lot as an example. I'm sure some people get tired of it, but it's the same thing, maybe with music, maybe with poetry, maybe with crafts, knitting, with swimming, with golfing. There's all kinds of things that bring us to that place of connection and of listening with everything that we are. So I keep going. I notice the frogs and I wonder, like, oh, how many times have I felt those were birds? You know, you just hear it and you don't calculate in your mind what that is, but it goes along with the bird sounds. And then there's one I don't recognize. I'm like, okay, that's a new one. It's a whistle, it's like a high low, and then there's like a warbling kind of sound, and it's syncopated a little bit like the caw of a crow. And now this is different, I don't know it, smaller bird maybe. And I'm resisting the temptation to pull out my Merlin app and record it so that I can identify what this bird is, but I'm like, Melissa, that's not why you're here today. So I'm just listening, and I'm listening, and I'm breathing. And in a way, all those sounds become one. It's a song. It's harmonies and melodies and rhythm. And then my mind interrupts me to remind me that I have a book club that night, a different book club, and I have 6 hours left to listen to the audio book before I meet with my very noisy and demanding cousins and sisters, yes, who want to talk about this book. I'm like, okay, I should plug my earbuds in, I should listen, you know, knock out an hour of it today. But that narrator's voice is so annoying. Why would I do that to my ears when I can listen to this? Like, I want to listen to this song of songs. And that's what it is, right? It's love songs, it's divine inspiration. I was raised Catholic. The canticles in the Catholic tradition are the representation of the connection between the love of God and humanity. I like to see it a little different than that, but I think of it as this love song between us and nature. This love song between us and each other. This love song between us and the things that are not anything besides us. The thing that's everything. I'm going to move into meditation. I want to invite you today to practice listening. To listen to your own hearts, to listen to the hearts of others. As we go through this meditation, I'm going to kind of guide you to listening to your heart, and then I'm going to invite you to listen to others. So let's begin. Make yourselves comfortable in your seat. Your legs uncrossed, your hands relaxed. Close your eyes if you'd like, or find a soft gaze going in front of you. Observe just the natural rhythm of your breathing. Notice how it's coming in and out of your body. Pay attention. Maybe it's felt contracted or tight lately, or maybe you've been breathing freely. Just notice. The next time you inhale, just make it a little bit longer. Draw it in through your nose a little bit longer, and then exhale. Exhale through your lips like you're blowing out a straw. Just slow. Do this 1 or 2 more times. Just inhaling slowly, blowing out through your lips. And feel your body. Check in. Start with your feet. Maybe curl and extend your toes a time or two. And then just feel your feet on the floor. Notice your hips, maybe rock back and forth or side to side. And then just feel your hips sink into your seat. Feel your ribs expand as you inhale and contract as you exhale. Listen to what your breath sounds like inside of you. Soften your forehead, unclench your jaw, relax your shoulders. Feel the warmth of your breath enter any space that might still feel a little tense and let it soften. One of my favorite parts of a meditation practice is listening. Listening not for words, not for messages, but listening to my heart, listening to my center, to the wisdom that we can be in constant communication with our hearts. Not looking for messages or an epiphany. It's simply a sense of something, maybe just connection. Feeling awareness kind of come over into us. And if you haven't already, make a connection with your heartbeat. Maybe you can feel it beating in your chest as you breathe. Maybe you want to put your hand over your heart or find a pulse. Notice the rhythm of your heart. Just sit with that for a minute. So many things in our lives are vying for our attention. But one of the things that's always there, ready for our attention is our heart. When we listen to our heart, the actual physical heartbeat and the calling of our heart, we know our own truth. We know that deep wisdom. Our heart is a presence in our chest. So right now, just feel that presence. Feel the rhythm. And then see if you can bring your breath and your heartbeat together. So counting your heartbeat. Inhale as deeply as feels comfortable, and count the number of heartbeats that might be. It might be 4, 6, 8. And when you exhale, exhale the same number of heartbeats. So if you inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. However fast or slow your heart is beating, meet that rhythm with your breath. Might be a little uncomfortable. Be playful. Give yourself grace. Might have to try a few different times. know that you can't do it alone. If you're paying attention to your heart. We'll take a moment of silence together. Or you can have your heart breath or just simply breathe. If you want, say to your heart, I'm listening. As you return your attention to the sound of my voice, notice the chair you're sitting on, your feet on the floor, maybe your fingers or toes. Return your attention to where you are right now, whatever sensations you might be feeling. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So I know you have a potluck today where you're going to talk to each other, have some discussion. In the newsletter, it said, we change the world by having a deep, personal, authentic connection with the source of all life and love. I think that's beautiful. Listening is loving. So give enough for that. When you meet today, when you talk, listen to the words, those are important. But listen to each other's hearts. Listen to your own heart in response to what you're hearing from others, and listen to their hearts too. Have a beautiful Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. And if you would like to share your resources with Unity Center of Des Moines, now is your opportunity to do so. We're going to be passing around a basket, but maybe if you're joining us online, or if you don't carry cash like I often don't, there's a little Venmo code. We also can accept donations via Zelle. So there's options, and know that we appreciate everything that is shared. And whether your contributions are of a physical, spiritual, energetic, or financial level, we want to offer this affirmation.
Divine love. Next slide.
I am infinitely abundant, divine love through me. Blessed and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I thankfully acknowledge the divine source.
I listen to the wind of my soul. I end up where I think only God really knows. I said on the setting sun, never, never, never. I never wanted harder once, never, never. I listen for my words as they fall far below. I let my music take me where my heart wants to go. I swam upon the devil's lake, never, 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 I'll never make the same mistake. Never, never. I listen to the wind of my soul. Where I'll end up, but I think only God really knows.
Yes, I'm on. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, we dedicate this offering to do the work of spirit and truth to the people of Unity Center of Des Moines, and we are grateful. And now I'd like to invite everyone to stand up and follow along as Deb leads us through the universal greeting of peace from the Gandhi Foundation. And we send this love within us out to the whole universe.
I offer you peace.
I offer you peace.
I offer you love.
I offer you love.
I offer you friendship.
I offer you friendship.
I see your beauty.
I see your beauty.
I hear your needs.
I hear your needs.
I feel your pain.
I feel it.
My wisdom flows from the higher source.
My wisdom flows from the higher source.
I salute that source in you.
And I salute that source in you.
Let us work together for unity and love.
Let us work together for unity and love.
Thank you, Deb. All right, and now if we can make a great big circle around the room, we'll sing our closing song together. If you feel like holding hands, grab the hands of your neighbor, and if you don't, you can put your hands over your heart. There's lots of goodies in the community room.
The light of the divine surrounds us. The love of the divine enfolds us. The power of the divine protects us. The presence of the divine watches over us. Wherever we are, the divine is, and all is well. Thank you, everybody. So glad you're here, and I hope to see you next week. And we'll deal with chairs later. All right, take care. Let's eat. So we're gonna do